Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Does vaginal discharge break one's wudu? Does vaginal discharge break one's wudu? So, of course, the discharge that we spoke about above, that would be counted as hayd, but we are not speaking about that now. We are speaking about usual vaginal discharge, right? The usual moisture. So, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. The type of moisture or mucus, as it is, sort of biologically referred to, is from a woman's private part, or rather, the type of moisture that comes from a woman's private part is considered pure. It's considered tahir in the Shafi'i school. That's the first point. The second point is your wudu would be invalidated when anything exits the private parts, but not because of the discharge that you were in contact with, because it comes from the private parts. So in essence, if a woman experiences vaginal discharge from inside of the vagina, and it comes out of the vagina, that discharge is something that comes out of the private parts. And the rule in the Shafi'i school of thought, there are 4 things that break one's wudu. One of that is kharijun min as-sabilain, anything that exits the front or rear private part, male or female, right? Whether it comes from the male or female. And in this sense, it will break the wudu. However, there are certain other points that one should understand about vaginal discharge, and it's a very important issue. So I'll take this opportunity to elaborate a little bit on the issue. So in the Shafi'i school of thought, Ibn Hajar al-Haytami, rahimahullah ta'ala, he classified vaginal moisture or discharge as follows, right? You get that which is pure, so the moisture or mucus that sometimes exits a woman's private part is usually whitish in color between madhi and perspiration. So madhi is a more sticky, more cloudy substance, and perspiration basically takes on the fluidity of water. If it exits from an area of the vagina that must be washed in the purificatory bath, in istinja, etc., that area is generally referred to in fiqh as that which is exposed when the woman would squat, right? So that area, if it comes from that area, it is considered pure. So this is essentially the outer parts of the woman's private part. Then there's another type of discharge which is considered impure, and that is if it exits from an area of the vagina that does not require washing in a purificatory bath. In other words, when a woman takes a ghusl, she's not expected to wash herself internally, right? The only part of a private part that need to be washed is that which is exposed at the time of squatting. So if there's discharge that comes from deeper than that area, then that is considered impure. But then there is moisture that is categorized differently by different scholars. So there's differing views on this. That is, if the moisture exits from an area between what was just mentioned, so between the outer parts of the private part and the inner parts of the private part. There are differing views in this regard, but the official view of the Shafi'i school is that it is pure, it is not najasa. So this is from Hashiyatul Jamal ala Sharh al-Manhaj. Even though the moisture from deep within the female private part is considered najasa upon exiting the vagina, right, what we just explained above, any quote-unquote contamination, anything that is afflicted or touched by that particular type of discharge, that would be overlooked. That is ma'fuun anhu. And there's an important reason why we mention this. So for example, when engaged in physical intimacy with one's spouse, the male private part is not considered to have been, again, quote-unquote, contaminated. It is not considered to become mutanajjis or affected with najasa after intercourse. Similarly, if there's a legitimate reason for a lady to insert something into a private part, for example, a doctor's examination, or she needs to examine herself for some reason, then whatever comes from that inner private part is not considered to be affected by najasa, even though it's considered impure inside, it is considered ma'fuun anhu, in other words, overlooked. It is pardoned by the Sharia. And again, this is from the works of Ibn Hajar al-Haytami. So a related question to this is, if a woman uses, if she has some discharge on her clothing or on the towels, etc., would that have to be considered najasa? And again, the answer is no, based on what we've just explained above. Wallahu subhanahu wa ta'ala a'lam.
La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah.